Kinnaird, a hotel and sporting estate in Perthshire, Scotland. Once called the quietest place in the world, it's the kind of hotel where they describe the wine list as considered. Rooms are around £400 a night, but then you do get a very special level of service. This is the only hotel we've ever heard of that comes with a, well, it's a 4x4 concierge. Alistair Cow drives around the 7,000-acre estate in his Land Cruiser tending to guests' needs. He delivers logs to the lodgers, breakfast to the bothies and guns to the hunters. And today I was going to help him out, which rather conveniently would also let me test the two leading soft roaders. And hopefully play with the guns.
So you mentioned guns. Are they really big guns?
The idea was to spend the morning in service with the Land Rover Freelander and the afternoon shift with the Nissan X-Trail. And before long the first mission came up.
The armoury.
Some chaps fancying a bit of clay pigeon shooting needed some guns. Hooray!
This is what butlery should be about. Guns and cars. Romantic evenings. Killing things. Okay, so first we're going to start with the Freelander. Immediately, this is quite high. This is like a proper SUV. If we drop the guns in, yeah, they do fit. Under the floor, just a full-size spare wheel. If we drop this back, that's actually not a bad boot. You know, it's quite big, quite a high lip, so you have to haul things up and get them in there, but it looks pretty good. Other than that, it's a bit kind of plastic. And I know, let's do the old non-specific thunk test. Ready? Not bad. Let's get driving. What we've got here is a TD4 Freelander, so that's a 2.2 litre 4-pot diesel, incidentally made by Peugeot Citroën, so it's the same one as in the Citroën C-Crosser and the Peugeot 4007. It's 158 brake horsepower and feels pretty perky. It'll do 38 miles to the gallon as a manual, so it's worth remembering that if you spec this auto, that drops to 33 miles to the gallon. But to drive, you know, it feels pretty good. You've got an SUV driving position, so you're quite high, you can see over all the hedges and stuff, but when you actually turn into a corner, it's pretty car-like. It doesn't roll too much, good body control and all that sort of stuff.
It wasn't long before the roads turned to tracks.
Of course, because it's a Land Rover, it's engineered to be able to get to Timbuktu as well as Tesco's. Basically what we've got here is a thing called terrain response, which acts basically like a 4x4 butler. You twiddle this little knob here and it just goes to grass, mud ruts or sand, and then it just sorts out all the complicated four-wheel drive bits for you. It's four-wheel driving for idiots. Yes, guns. Here we go. I believe this one's yours, sir. There we go. Oh, should I point? Yeah, sorry. And then this one's for you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Have a most excellent day shooting, and I'll be here if you need me. Thank you.
Thanks again.
See you later. Thank you. Right.
I like this hotel. Most of the ones I go to have an old trouser press gently shorting itself out. This is definitely more like it.
While I'm waiting for the guests to stop shooting, I'll just show you the back seats of the Freelander. Just come in here. Okay, so here we are in the back of the Freelander. And actually, you know, it's pretty good. I'm 6'2". I've got enough knee room behind my own seating position. Headroom's obviously fine, but this bench in the back is actually quite angular, so you're sitting quite straight up. You know, your knees are quite straight and your back's vertical, but, you know, it feels quite premium in here. I'll just show you the front. Hey. Now this is more like it. If you knew the old Freelander, this is an absolute quantum leap forward. It's borrowed quite a lot of the bits from Big Brother Discovery 3, so it's a genuinely premium feeling place. You know, nice bit of leather, everything's nicely modern design. You know, it's good stuff.
The Land Rover's ride and handling on and off-road set a very high benchmark. After beautifully arranging some posh tea, I was ready to resume afternoon duties in the Nissan. Now, quite a while back, the X-Trail won an extensive group test Fifth Gear did of little SUVs. We expect this revised model to be even better.
Okay, so there's a young couple arriving today who've requested a picnic right up at the other end of the estate, which is miles away, up muddy tracks and everything. But this is where the X-Trail immediately starts to impress. These rear seats fold flat, and it's got this underfloor storage. So you've got loads of space for all that picnic paraphernalia. It's actually class leading.
This is a 2-litre diesel with 150 horsepower, so it's a little down on power compared to the Freelander, but it actually manages to be a bit quicker to 60 and a bit more economical, averaging nearly 40 miles to the gallon.
Weird thing is, it's almost not SUV enough. I mean, one of the reasons why I'd buy an SUV is for the high driving position, but I really don't feel like Lord of the Manor down here, more like a manservant, which I guess I am. On the road, you can just drive in 2-wheel drive, which means that it handles like a normal car, saves you a bit of fuel, less wear on the transmission and that sort of stuff. Get off-road or get into a slippy bit of tarmac, you can flick it on again on a little rotary knob on this dash bit into automatic splitting of the torque, which means that basically it'll push some power to the back wheels if the front ones start to slip. There's also a locking mode where you can lock it into 4-wheel drive if you're doing proper off-roading. I'm certainly noticing the fact that it's got less ride height because we keep catching the exhaust on rocks. You can just feel, there you go, did you feel that? Even though it's getting there, in the Land Rover you get the feeling that we're in a Land Rover, they conquer everything, I'm sure we're going to get there. In the X-Trail, well, you can't help having it in the back of your mind that this is Nissan. They build Bluebirds.
And that question of brand values is an important one. For all the fancy options this Aventura Explorer comes with, like voice-activated sat-nav,
please say a command after the tone.
I love you.
Bird view.
and a colour reversing camera, you still can't help feeling that people would actually prefer their picnic, guns, pets, school kids, weekly shopping or whatever dropped off in a Land Rover.